Chapter 63, That's Why, If You Try to Do Harm. Is Lady Violet's dual opponent a reincarnator? I don't know how to express this, but I feel like the girl who's good friends with His Highness and his group is acting with full knowledge of their backgrounds and the consequences of her actions. It is as if she's only acting for her benefit and taking advantage of her surroundings. Of course, this might not entirely be true, so it's better to keep the words of the third party only as a reference. As long as the words of the third party are subjective, they can't convey the truth as it is. Is something wrong, Mr. CLO? No, it's nothing. Thank you for letting me know, Ms. Kriemhild. I'll have to keep in mind the possibility that she's a reincarnator if we ever have a chance to meet or if she tries to harm us, but there's no need to think about it too hard right now. Also, I thought Miss Kriemhild was the heroine, but there's a chance that the girl in question is the heroine instead. If I remember right, the heroine didn't have a default name anyway. I'm younger than you and also a commoner, so would you please stop with the polite tone? Being a commoner aside, you are our guest. We must be sensible about that. What's wrong? Well, the nobles I know are not so soft-spoken with the commoners, even if they are guests. I was just thinking that it's a bit unexpected. Oh, I'm sorry, it was rude of me. I don't mind. It's true that many nobles are like that, so I don't mind being told that I'm different from them. It's just that in my previous life, I lived alone with my sister in a one-room apartment, and as somebody who's a commoner by nature, the way of the noble society doesn't suit me. Well, it's not like I'm very good at polite talk either. I just find it easier to talk with honorifics even if I'm not that good at it, because it's less offensive. Speaking of which, how should I decide the timing of when to start getting on more casual terms with Lady Violet? I've been keeping up polite language with her for some reason, but it might be better to speak more frankly with her. Oh, now that I think about it, I forgot to ask this. By the way, what's that girl's name? When I tried to ask that girl's name at the end. You two get along well. Lady Violet appeared, staring at us. For some reason, I felt prickling thorns in her words. I'm not going to ask her why she's looking at us like that. Yeah, from her perspective, it looks like her husband is having a secret conversation with her classmate. It's not surprising for her to be suspicious. No, don't mind me. Kriemhild is a charming girl. It's no wonder that you would be attracted to her, Lord CLO. I will admit that she's a charming girl, but please rest assured that I'm not cheating on you. I've heard that the second prince is also a loving person. He's a so-called giver. His Highness also preferred another ugh. Why would you open up your own old wounds? If I get nervous here, I'll seem even more suspicious, and it's not like I'm cheating in the first place, so there's no need to panic. I already have my hands and heart full of happiness from having one family. Also, it's not allowed for people to have concubines when they have wives unless they're royalty, and I don't want to have them either. Besides, it reminds me of my mother from previous life. I think harems are amazing, but I definitely don't want to be a part of it. I'd definitely get stabbed. Foo-foo, I'm joking. I'm not going to tie you down, so don't worry. Saying so, Lady Violet made a small smile. Now that I look at her, I think Lady Violet has changed a lot. When she first came to Shiki, her actions lacked common sense sometimes, but she didn't make expressions like this often. I'd be happy if this was the result of coming to Shiki. Well, there are still times when she acts outrageously even now though. Wow. Not only did Vi make a joke, she's also jealous. I felt like Ms. Kriemhild muttered something quietly behind my back. Perhaps noticing that as well, Lady Violet gave her a puzzled look. Did you say anything, Kriemhild? Nope, nothing at all. I was just thinking that you're really a married woman now, Vi. I see. My classmate is a married woman. It kinda sounds lewd. Sometimes you really say the weirdest things. You think so? The situation itself sounds like a title of some novel from my previous life. Generally, in the kingdom, people get married when they graduate from school, but when you reach adulthood at the age of 15, you can get married, so it's possible for your classmates to be husbands or wives. Ahaha. Oh, right. Vi, Mr. CLO. Can I ask you something? Yes, please go ahead. What's wrong? I don't know what Miss Creamhill thought when she looked at us, but she spun around once and asked with a sharp look on her face. Was that spin really necessary? Are you happy in your marriage? It was a very simple question and a bit embarrassing to ask seriously. The earnest expression on her face told me that she wasn't teasing us, and was honestly asking if her friend was happy. There was a lot of confusion in the beginning, at the very least. But, however, that question made me feel strange. Lady Violet's dual opponent, the situation surrounding Miss Creamhill, the fate of this world and the woman who has captivated His Highness and the others. Unlike what I thought I knew, many things are shrouded in mystery. If I'm able to be like this because of something I don't know or the actions of somebody I don't know. It's true that I'm happy to be here with Lady Violet right now. I felt that I had to be grateful that I was able to meet Lady Violet. It seems that I love this life more than I thought. Chapter 64, Hurry Up and Make Progress by Navy. CLO, you traitor. Get lost. That was close. Lord CLO. What? The sister, who prefers to preach with corporal punishment, came at me directly from the front at super high speed and threw a faintly glowing fist at me. What on earth does she want? And she's really underestimating me if she's using her fists against me despite kicks being her specialty. If you're going to attack anyway, might as well do it with something you're good at. After confirming that I had evaded, Cyan laughed, as if to say that she had expected me to evade an attack of that level. She straightened her appearance and started explaining why she tried to punch me out of nowhere. I hated seeing you smile happily. That's all. Don't you? That's all to me. Don't worry, I used the back side of my fist. Fists don't have back sides. Since it was glowing faintly, she must have also been using healing magic at the same time, but violence is still bad. I wish she didn't use the I might hit you, but if I also heal you, it'll be +/-0, so it's all fine reasoning to punch people. If she was trying to punch me seriously, I wouldn't have been able to dodge it, so I can understand that she came at me with a speed that I could evade, but I was still spooked. Lady Violet seems to have gotten used to it to some extent, but Miss Creamhill looks like she has no idea what in the world just happened. Actually, weren't you having a mock battle with Sir Chartreuse? Since the stage had already been set, I gave up on stopping the mock battle and came to talk to Miss Creamhill while the focus was on it. Yeah. We were having a good match until the middle, but for some reason his movements suddenly became sluggish midway, so I took the chance and punched him. His self-defense charm seemed to have exceeded its durability and he threw up. He's resting now. Even if Cyan punched him seriously, an impact that's strong enough to even exceed the durability of self-defense charm and make him throw up is crazy. Chartreuse has been training a lot, so he wouldn't throw up easily. Wait a minute, his movements became sluggish. I don't think he trained so half-heartedly that he would get tired right away, so why? Oh, maybe. You obviously fought him while wearing that sister habit with a slit, right? Not obviously. This is my combat uniform, to start with. I see. In other words, Chartreuse was probably agitated because he almost saw something he shouldn't have when Cyan was moving a lot for kicking. I feel like he doesn't have much tolerance for that kind of thing. What's wrong? Nothing. Rather, don't you need to tend to him? Evo is watching over him, so it's fine. Besides, he kind of didn't want me around him. Then it can't be helped. It would be better to not tease him needlessly. It's a pain, but I have to apologize to Chartreuse before he goes back. I'll have to explain that her outfit is a result of Cyan abiding by the doctrine, and not because she's an exhibitionist. No, the explanation won't make much of a difference. The fact that she's wearing those clothes without anything underneath won't change. So, just as I was halfway warmed up, I came across the perfect person who also pissed me off, so I couldn't help myself. That's why God will also forgive me for this. Your logic makes no sense. This is one of those things that God doesn't forgive. She has committed at least 2 of 7 deadly sins. It's a different matter altogether whether Cyan was actually upholding them though. By the way, what did she come here for? I hope she didn't come here just to punch me. Not like it's unlikely though. Anyway, I have a message from Ash. Apparently he wants to talk to you about handing over that pervert. Tell me that first. Isn't that clearly an important matter? I resisted the urge to sigh, turned back towards Lady Violet and Ms. Kriemhild and said something before leaving. Cyan was also returning to where Ash was, so it looked like she would come with me. The two then replied and saw us off. It seems like they still have something to talk about. Well then, let's go. Yes, sir. Ash is in front of the church. I nodded and started walking towards the church. When I looked back from a little distance away, I saw Lady Violet and Ms. Kriemhild talking happily like before. I'm a little jealous of Ms. Kriemhild for being able to bring out such a happy expression on Lady Violet's face. Then, after noticing that I was looking at them, Miss Kriemhild started waving her hand to see us off. Seeing this, Lady Violet also imitated her and shyly waved her hand. Hey, they're waving, so let's wave back, pipe down. Are you a kid? But I think she'll be happy if you wave back. As I waved back despite the embarrassment, Lady Violet trembled in surprise for some reason, stopped waving and looked down. And Ms. Kriemhild, who noticed, put her hand on Lady Violet's back, whispered something in her ear and continued waving from that position. I can't see her expression, but I noticed that Lady Violet's face turned red. What do you think, Cyan? Finish up everything quickly and go hug her already, or stop showing off, you bastard. Which one would you prefer? Neither. Coward. Shut up. It's so hot today. I think it's cooler today though. Are you shy? Your face has been red ever since he said that he's happy to be with you. I don't know what you're talking about. Stop grinning. I'm not. I just think it's heartwarming. Same difference. By the way, why did you suddenly ask something like that? You see. You've changed a lot from when you were at the academy, Vi. I was wondering if marriage changed people that much. I've definitely changed. I see. I'm glad. You have to take good care of Mr. CLO, okay? After all, he's a husband who doesn't treat you in a perverted way. What do you mean? Oh, and Kriemhild, about next month, Vi see. So, in addition to His Highness Vermilion, you'll meet too. Yeah. Chapter 65, something of an interlude, Ash's doubts and change of heart. There's still something that needs to be settled. My feelings on the incident caused by Rivers while en route to escorting him back to the academy. Roshena Rivers was kind to others for someone from a bourgeois family that bought their title. He behaved no differently even while associating with the upper echelons of society like me. His magic proficiency lay somewhere between A and B class. He did excel in academics, but his personality was nothing to write home about. But he didn't strike me as a guy who could transform an orc into that. I know he's skilled, but considering his personality, I have some questions regarding his behavior. I was certainly surprised to learn that he had concealed something called word magic, but he was a cowardly guy, who couldn't take a life, so much so that he could never kill a monster or even wring the neck of a fish. I don't think all of that was just an act. A guy like that not only killed a monster but also experimented on it. Just what exactly brought about this change in him? That said, all of this might sound odd coming from me, considering I failed to see through his facade. However, Baron Hearfield had a clue as to River's real character for some reason. I may be barking up the wrong tree as I failed to realize that Rivers had loved His Highness to the point of losing his grip on sanity. I wish to learn from this experience and become better at discerning others' character. If the perpetrator insists on silence. Rivers, who was restrained and contained in the coach, refused to speak a single word on the stunt he'd pulled. Even if I tried to speak with him, he simply said, "I have nothing to say to that woman's ally," and refused to budge. I suppose the woman he mentioned is Violet, but I wonder since when he started seeing us as allies. Just because I helped thwart Rivers' plan, it doesn't automatically make me her ally. He accused us of being her allies. What do you think, Char? I casually asked Char, who was next to me, after making sure no one could hear us. Char dropped the enigmatic expression on his face, gave my question some thought before he answered. Well, I suppose there's no reason to deliberately treat Valentine. No, Violet with hostility at the moment. As such, I don't mind if people consider us allies. That's a surprise. I never thought I'd hear you say something like that. I may not have a leg to stand on, but I certainly remember Char having a very aggressive attitude towards Violet. And now he says he doesn't feel that way anymore. Just what brought this on? You witnessed it too, what she's like now. Yeah. She did things that the Violet we knew would have never done. She was haughty and self-centered, aggressive and overbearing towards that girl. Naturally, that's the image that stayed in our mind. I'm not asking you to let bygones be bygones. But please, lend me your strength just this once. What we saw after the kidnapping incident was an Ixtuk's daughter, explaining the situation to us, asking for our help and proceeding to lower her head to us before she even heard our reply. As the situation was dire, we were going to help even if she hadn't bowed to us. However, just to save any future trouble, it would be better if we explained the situation to the rest of the students. That was not her cunning plan, rather she bowed her head to us simply out of pure concern for her kidnapped butler. Us. We couldn't believe it was the same Violet Valentine we knew. She was someone who put pride before everything, and she would vehemently disregard anything she doesn't approve of. We could see none of that in her now. That said, her change in attitude doesn't erase her past sins. His Highness, and I'm sure Char too, haven't forgiven her for what she did to that girl. I am in love with that girl, and it's the same with His Highness and the others. Violet's behavior, which was a direct result of her ugly jealousy of that girl, can't be excused in such a short time. I don't intend on taking the law into my hands like Rivers, but a proper atonement period needs to be. Are you all right, Lord CLO? Did you burn yourself? Are you hurt anywhere? Let's get you some first aid. I'll bring Ivory immediately. However, her expression back then was something I'd never imagined she would make. She wasn't trying to exploit the situation to her advantage or keep up appearances, it was simply an expression born out of love and concern for a precious someone. It wasn't out of fear, nor was it a formality, but an expression that made apparent her concern for the person she loved. When she makes an expression like that, it makes me unsure about where to redirect my anger. Maybe for others like Rivers, even that would only serve to fuel their anger, but it's starting to feel weird for me to resent her. Because I am in love with. I can understand where Violet's coming from. Setting aside the matter of forgiveness. I've known her since childhood, and I realized the obvious fact that the girl who I'd only ever seen with a sour look on her face was in love too. And this is what had to say on the subject. I wanted to draw your attention to the fact that you've grown too close-minded. I'm happy to learn about your feelings for me, but just keep in mind that those feelings don't excuse any kind of behavior. It was warranted as what she said was true. I've since reflected on myself and strive to practice self-restraint. Though, I do slip up on rare occasions. Violet back then was in love with His Highness and unable to see anything but him. Violet Heartfield now is in love with the Baron and seems to be still aware of her surroundings. She, who holds love, the same feeling as me in her heart, had matured in the right direction. Which means, I have no right to criticize her anymore. As a fellow human, I can only wish for her happiness. Though I can be bitter about it. Char seems not yet aware, seeing as how he accepted to help despite his mixed feelings when Violet beseeched us. He also did not notice that his opinion of her isn't the same anymore. Also, this may be off topic, but there's something I've been curious about as of late. By the way, what's up with you lately? You've been acting weird ever since your spar with that sister. Char, my best friend since childhood, was acting strange. Ever since the spar, he's been in a daze, and even when he got his new sword, his behavior was unusual. After entering the academy. Probably around a month later I should think. Just like me, he also met and became close to, and since then he's been acting weird, but lately he seems to have gotten worse. It's nothing, really. I didn't see anything. I didn't see. No, I can't say that as a knight. The Baron told me to not worry about it, but that's a part of a woman's body that shouldn't be. Char. It's okay, I didn't actually see it. It wasn't fully visible. However, is it all right to dismiss it just because of that? As a knight, as a man, I need to take responsibility. But I have her, so I can't exactly give myself up. All right then, I've made up my mind. What is it, Char? Ash. Sorry, but could you let the school know I'll be absent for a few days? Depending on how things go, it may take a while for me to return. What are you talking about? There's something I need to do as a man. I'm sad I won't be able to see her, but if I return without making amends I wouldn't be able to show her my face. Well then, goodbye, Ash. I'm going back to Shiki to take responsibility as a man should. Ha. Hold on, Char. Guys, 2 of you wait here and the rest, follow me. We need to go bring back Char. If need be, you are allowed to exercise force. Roger that. Was this guy always that much of an idiot? Is what went through my mind as I saw him running off towards Shiki. In the end, we caught him using a thingamajig that Nephrite cooked up using her alchemy magic. Since he resisted, we had to knock him out. Is the eccentricity seen among Shiki's residents infectious? Chapter 66, Turmoil Caused Due to CLO's Lack of Knowledge _1. On one afternoon of a slightly chilly day, I was in the mansion's kitchen preparing dinner. In our household, we all take turns preparing meals each day, and today I'm the one on duty. I was reluctant and confused about cooking, because I had no prior experience before coming to Shiki, as my maid, Amber, and my exclusive chefs used to cook for me. But now, I've become able to cook decently with the help of my husband and my son. Besides, now I don't mind cooking. Or actually, I've started to think that it's fun. Today's leftover ingredients are. I checked the food storage, refrigerator according to Lord CLO, which used ice magic stones, and thought of the menu for today's dinner. If I buy things we don't have in town, what can I make today? Lord CLO has gone outside to do some physical work, and Gray will help me prepare dinner as soon as he's finished with his work around the mansion. Both of them will probably be tired, so I'd better prepare something easy to eat and nutritious. In addition, I also have to consider their preferences. Lord CLO likes egg dishes in general and doesn't like dried fruits. Gray likes all meat dishes and doesn't like cheese. But he's fine with little amounts. However, they both share love for sweets. They often eat something sweet for dessert after a meal. I want them to be careful to not eat too much. Excessive overeating of sweets can lead to obesity. Both of them exercise a lot, so I don't think they're packing extra weight, but sweets are easy to get addicted to, so they should make sure to eat in moderation. I guess I'll make some roasted apples with honey after dinner. On a different note, apples are in season and we receive tons of it. I can't let them rot, so I might as well use them. The reason why I want to serve apples with honey instead of by themselves has nothing to do with the fact that Gray is particularly fond of honey. I'm not spoiling him just because I'm happy that he enjoys my cooking, so it's fine. I can't let a gift go bad, after all. Oh, but we're out of honey. Darn it. I used up all the honey to dip lemons the other day. And honey is not coming into Shiki currently. This will have Gray's happiness. No, that boy will be pretty happy even with just sliced apples. But I'd still like to make him happy with something I've cooked. But what are other dishes that use apples? With my lack of knowledge, I can't think of something at the top of my head. Should I have shown a little more interest in cooking? Then how about a strudel? As I was drowning in my regrets, somebody called out to me from behind. I haven't heard of that dish. What kind of dish is it? What kind of dish is that? It's a dish from the Empire, made by lining thinly rolled dough with apples, almonds, cinnamon, and baking it. It's sweet and delicious even without honey. It sounds delicious. Will you teach me how to make it? Wait, who am I talking to right now? Lord CLO hasn't come back and Gray is also still working. And it's a woman's voice. It's a female voice that could be described as dignified, unlike the voices of Ms. Cyan and Apricot. There's no way I would forget this woman's voice. As I slowly cast my gaze in the direction of the voice, there she was. Pervert Schwartz. The woman with long black hair and red eyes who tried to kill me before. I took an alert offensive stance indoors, keeping my vigilance up against Schwartz. Why is this woman here? And does the fact that she appeared before me mean that she got another commission involving me? Or perhaps she's here to take revenge on Lord CLO for threatening her. Phoo, that's right. Anybody who seeks beauty will become a pervert in the end. Our great predecessors have also said, if you seek beauty, you must become a pervert. This woman's mentality is needlessly strong. Even though I took an alert stance, she struck a weird pose to flaunt her beauty. This woman is really beautiful on the outside. She has the kind of a beauty that I still end up admiring even in this situation. No, don't think about unnecessary things. Don't worry. I made a promise to not harm the people of Shiki. I would refuse any commissions concerning you guys. I can't trust you. I'm not surprised. I will probably never be able to earn your trust. But I will just say that I would not do anything stupid that could endanger my precious younger brother. After saying so, Schwartz raised her hands to show that she was unarmed. She might be unarmed, but as long as there could be monsters around, I can't let my guard down. But the situation won't move forward if we're frozen in a stalemate like this. It can't be helped. I'll ask her what she came here for without letting my guard down. So why are you here? Did you come here to harass me instead of harming me? Perish the thought. This time I only came here to sell things to CLO. Come to think of it, this woman does almost everything as long as you pay her. Lord CLO said that in addition to purchasing information about the kingdom so no harm will come to me, sometimes he also buys products brought by Schwartz. Lord CLO usually buys fabrics for himself. I've seen him exclaim, "New fabrics," happily many times. Yeah, even when I think back on it, Lord CLO at that time was very cute. Wait, no, that's not the point. In that case, there would be no reason for you to appear before me. It's not like you came here on your own to be arrested for illegal trespassing. You're right. I was actually planning to leave Shiki quietly without meeting you, but something kept bothering me. Something kept bothering you. What would make this woman, who only cares about her own beauty and her family in her hometown, come directly to me to ask something with a mysterious expression on her face? I doubt something happened to the kingdom or His Highness, and there aren't many things that only I can answer. Are you guys not doing well as a couple? Are you picking a fight with me? If she's here to pick a fight, I won't let her walk away unscathed. I was just thinking of improving my magic skills in order to protect Lord CLO and Grey. I'll use her as a practice dummy. No, I'm sorry. That wasn't my intention, but I was really just curious. However, Schwartz didn't seem like she was trying to pick a fight with me. She looked genuinely curious. Or more like, worried. It's complicated, but when she shows that kind of expression, I can't help feeling perplexed. We have a good relationship. What made you think so? I also stopped preparing my mana, turned towards Schwartz again and asked her why she came to such a reasoning. You know that CLO asked me to purchase products from outside the kingdom, in addition to information, right? Yeah. This time I showed him the products I had purchased when I returned from the Empire, but when I showed him a certain product, he was more interested in it than the fabrics he usually happily chooses. A product that Lord CLO was very interested in. How is that related to the question she asked me? Did he buy the kind of a book that Kaki would love? If that's what it is, I'd be sad, but since he's a man, it's natural for him to be interested in things like that. In that case, I'll ask him to be careful to not let Grey see it. However, Schwartz paused, as if she was slightly hesitant to speak, and said something unexpected. CLO happily bought. Aphrodisiac. What did she just say? Aphrodisiac. Yup, aphrodisiac. I paused long to think well about those words, reflected on Schwartz's words. What? And immodestly shouted loudly. Chapter 67, Turmoil Caused Due to CLO's Lack of Knowledge _2. Calm down, Violet. Schwartz said that Lord CLO bought aphrodisiac, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's true. It's possible that it's a lie she made up to tease me. Also, Lord CLO isn't necessarily the one who will be using it. There's a chance that somebody else was looking for this item and Lord CLO, who remembered that, was happy to have found it and bought it. If used in another way, it can be a medicine to stimulate the recovery of bodily functions, and if given it to the perverted doctor, Ivory, or poison enthusiast, Emerald, it could even be used for treatment. I see, in that case, there's no mystery. I can't believe I panicked. I was really flustered by something so simple. By the way, CLO said that he'd use it today. Damn it, all my escape routes have been blocked. Wait, today as in tonight. What should I do? What am I supposed to do? I'm sure Lord CLO's words about the matters of the night was. After Lady Violet calms down. That's all he said. It seems that Lord CLO isn't good with things like that. I don't exactly like it either, but I thought that he was just evading it, so back then I decided that if he didn't feel like doing it, I wouldn't force him either. But perhaps he judged that I had finally calmed down. That said, I would have preferred if he hadn't decided to rely on that kind of drug for our first time. No, I'm the one who caused so much trouble for him and dragged things out. I can't complain now. I shall accept it with full readiness. Why are you here? As I was becoming eager, the one who appeared instead of Lord CLO was Grey. Seeing Schwartz and me, he quickly stepped in between us, taking a cautious stance. Hey there, Gray, long time no see. You're as beautiful as ever. Thank you very much. So, what did you do to my mother? Her face is so red. I hope you didn't give her any pills. Sorry, Gray. It might be true that my face is red because of Schwartz's words, but that doesn't mean she harmed me in any way. I'm honestly happy that you're worried about me though. You'll understand the reason eventually when you grow up. By the way, Gray, do you want to play with me today? I refuse. There is no way I could leave my mother in this condition alone and go outside. I see. I honestly think it's better if you're not in the mansion tonight though. Are you planning to do something to the people of Shiki? I'm not. Sorry, Gray. That's not it. I want to cover for her, but I don't know what to say and how, so I can't think of any words. Shit, is this Schwartz's plan? I don't know what it is, but I feel like I keep getting misunderstood from all directions. You are not making any sense. Don't worry about it. I was just thinking that it would be better to let CLO and Violet be alone. Alone with Lord CLO. In this situation with Lord CLO. There is no way I can leave them alone when she's in this kind of a state. Humph. Lady Violet. That was close. I was about to be deceived by her sweet words, but I managed to survive by banging my head against the wall. I don't know in what way I was being deceived, but I guess all is well now that I've regained my composure. Yeah, that hurts. Are you okay, Lady Violet? Does it hurt? I'm fine. Thanks for worrying about me. This is just a necessary measure. For me to not go out of control. Lady Schwartz, did you use magic that involves mind on Lady Violet? I can swear that I did not. Is that so? Stop it, Gray. Don't look at me with the eyes that look as if you're thinking, was my mother always this stupid? This might just be my persecution complex talking, but I'm usually right about this kind of thing. In any case, the pain helped me regain some of my calm. I can't really explain this matter to Gray, so I'll act like nothing happened. Gray, it's fine. It's not like Schwartz harmed me in any. I've just returned home. Wow. Mother. Damn it. I was so shocked, I ended up biting my tongue. What does this mean? Why did Lord CLO come back? No, calm down. This is our mansion, it's not strange for him to come back. It's not strange, but I didn't want him to come back right now. It would be better if he was a little late due to work. Hey there. Welcome home, CLO. I'm back. Wait, why is Miss Schwartz here? I just had a little business to take care of. Don't worry, I'll be leaving right away. After confirming that Lord CLO was carrying a paper bag when he returned, Schwartz stood up, approached him and tapped his shoulder. I was worried about something, but judging by her state, everything looks fine, so I'm relieved. Oh, is that so? CLO, make good use of what you bought from me this time. Stop with that meaningful smile. And also drop that expression that's almost saying, just do your best, while subtly looking at me. Yes, of course. Thank you for the wonderful item. Lord CLO answered Schwartz with a better smile than usual. A wonderful item. He said. Does Lord CLO intend to use it, after all? Looking satisfied at that answer, I want to punch her. Schwartz left with Auf Wiedersehen, German, goodbye, while waving lightly. Looks like she really came here because she was worried. Lord CLO, what do you mean by wonderful item? After relaxing his vigilance, Gray asked Lord CLO while worrying about me. The way he was looking at the paper bag, he seemed curious about what Lord CLO had bought. Oh, it's something to look forward to later. In response to the question, Lord CLO couldn't hide his happiness. Cute, as he held up the paper bag with something in it. Something to look forward to. Is it what I think it is after all? By the way, Gray, why is Lady Violet's face red and why is she covering her mouth? I don't know why her face is red, but as for her mouth, she bit her tongue earlier. Are you okay? Lord CLO ran up to me, looking worried. Stop it. If you approach me when I'm like this, I won't know what to do. First, I should demonstrate that I'm okay so he won't get close. I'm fine. I'm not sorry for making you worry. Gray, get something to cool her down. She might have a fever too. Why? I see. So that's the reason why her face is red. I understand. Like I said, why? I'm completely fine. It's fine. Gray and I will take care of today's dinner, so please rest, Lady Violet. Lord CLO put the paper bag on a nearby desk, covered me with a coat and tried to take me to my room. I want to tell Lord CLO that I'm okay, but I can't think properly. But then. The thing you bought won't. Recognizing that my own voice had become quieter from embarrassment, I couldn't look directly at Lord CLO's face. And I myself couldn't understand what I was saying. What I bought. Did you perhaps hear what I bought from Miss Schwartz? I feel my heart, which was beating faster than usual, start to beat even faster at those words. This is bad. I feel Lord CLO's words are spoken unusually close to me and his voice resonates in my brain more than usual. Calm down, Violet. What are you going to do now in this state? Remember what you learned at the ducal house. Remember what you were taught about what to do in this kind of situation. I was generally only taught to leave it to the man. I was told that it was still too early for me. Damn, what should I do? Right. Once you calm down, I will give it to you too, Lady Violet. It might be just perfect for your current state. Please look forward to it. HM. In other words, you want me to ingest it too? Ingest it? Well, I guess that's how it'll be. It's a very good thing. Lady Violet. Okay, I made up my mind. Lord CLO is trying to give me a push too. In that case, I should also answer him. Like a noble, like a wife. I shall take on this challenge with a mindset that won't make me feel ashamed later. It looks like the time has finally come for that nightgown that I haven't even worn once since I was rejected on the first day. Lord CLO, is the good thing you mentioned food? Gray asked Lord CLO while holding something to cool me down with. We have hid it from Gray well. This topic is too early to talk about at Gray's age, so we can't just. Yeah. Once Lady Violet calms down, I'll give it to you too. So let's all eat together. What did Lord CLO just say? Lord CLO, Gray will eat it too. Yes, good things should be eaten together. It'll be more memorable that way. I see. Gray would also eat it, he says. We should eat it together, he says. We'll eat aphrodisiac together as a family, he says. In other words. Are you really abnormal Cagliostro after all, Lord CLO? That was brought out of nowhere. Chapter 68, Turmoil Caused Due to CLO's Lack of Knowledge _3. One cold evening, when it had started to get a bit nippy, I was admittedly chipper and on my way back to the mansion. The reason being the contents of the paper bag I was holding. Once work that required physical labor dries out, Miss Schwartz, who shows up periodically, arrives with merchandise to sell. Since I'm required to visit the capital next month for reasons, I armed myself with up-to-date information on all things capital, and when I was about to buy the colored fabric that I'd ordered before, I discovered a certain something in her possession. This? It's a new item that's extremely popular among the nobles. It seems to originate from the United Nations, though. Do you need it? Hee, I see you're interested in things like this too, who. Miss Schwartz, I want that. I'll take all of it, if you don't mind. What? Ah. CLO, do you know what this is? Of course. I never thought I'd come across it here. How much do you want for it? And so, excited as all hell, I ended up buying it. As someone who likes to haggle, I'm well aware that I shouldn't have appeared so eager to get my hands on the item, but the minute my eyes fell on it, I couldn't contain my excitement. Because it's something that I really loved back in my previous world. Who would have thought I'd get to have chocolate once again? Not me. Yeah, I'm talking about chocolate. Be it in my previous life or now, I continue to have a sweet tooth and I'm especially partial to chocolate. My sister and I had a voracious appetite for it. But it's such a shame that chocolate doesn't exist here, or at least not in the capital. If you possess the knowledge, then put it to good use and turn it into wealth. Is something that would only work in isekai story plots I've read in my previous world, and it was impossible for me. Cacao and sugar are the basic ingredients necessary to make chocolate, but I have no idea what else is needed or how to go about tempering it. Even in my previous life, I could follow a recipe, but eating was my true area of expertise, so it never crossed my mind to try to make chocolate myself. Either way, if it's becoming popular among nobles in the capital, then it should mean chocolate will be more easily available for consumption in the future. It's just a tad expensive though. The high price makes sense given the fact that nobles have set their eyes on it. Lady Violet would get mad at me if I buy too much. As for Gray, a small taste should win him over. Come to think of it, Miss Schwartz said something weird when I was trying to buy the chocolate. I see. So you're aware of its effect and yet you're still buying it. Is something wrong? Nah, it's nothing. I was just a little curious. This may be bordering on rudeness, but do you mind if I ask whether you'll be the one to use it? Use? I guess it'll come down to that. I was thinking tonight would be a good time. Oh. Well, good luck. I can't give you all of it, but considering it's your first purchase, I can offer you a large quantity on a discount. Make sure to handle Violet's body with care, you hear? I don't know which one of you will be using it though. Okay, got it. I wonder how chocolate relates to handling Lady Violet's body with care. No, hold on. I remember reading that chocolate is highly nutritional and is part of army rations. So did she mean that I shouldn't hog all of it and share some with Lady Violet for the good of her health? Well, she didn't need to tell me that, I was going to share anyway. Either way, I'm really excited to see everyone's reactions. I'm back. And as I hoped both Lady Violet and Gray would be just as stoked, I opened the door and entered the mansion, all chipper. It's all just a misunderstanding. And thus, I was desperately explaining myself to Lady Violet. The reason was to dispel the depraved notion that I intended for the whole family to consume the item despite being fully aware that it was an aphrodisiac. If that's what it was, I wish Ms. Schwartz had said something. Wait, did chocolate ever have the properties of an aphrodisiac? I desperately explained to a strangely flustered Lady Violet that the supposed chocolate I had purchased was simply a favorite dessert of mine and that I had no ulterior motives behind the simple transaction. While I was at it, I also desperately explained things to Gray, who had somehow learned the nature of an aphrodisiac. The minute he learned its true purpose, Gray tried to leave the room as if to give me and Lady Violet some privacy, so I had to take great pains to make him stay. I should also apologize, I didn't know all the details but still jumped to my own conclusions. It's alright, I really couldn't blame you given the circumstances. Consuming it as a family sounds too depraved. And wait, where did you learn about the name Abnormal Cagliostro? From rumors going around about you before I came to Shiki. Why the hell is that nickname being spread everywhere? I don't want to turn defiant and shout that all humans are perverts deep down, but that nickname is too humiliating. Wait. Lady Violet looked flustered even before I suggested that we all try it. I'm guessing she heard the news from Miss Schwartz before I got back home, but that would mean. But, does it really taste good? Before I could answer her curious question, she picked up the chocolate in her hand and examined it, which shifted my focus. I can't deny that to the clueless it would look no more than a brown block. And if someone was seeing it for the first time, they may be ill-opposed to consuming it. Then would you like to try it? Now that the misunderstanding had been cleared, I recommended they give the chocolate a try. I want to share delicious things with both of them, and if the food ends up suiting their tastes, then it would make me really happy too. Even if it's a confectionery of some sort, it doesn't change the fact that it's being used as an aphrodisiac in the capital, would it? How could we eat it? I've heard that if you're accustomed to stimulants like alcohol or fizzy drinks, then medicine or poison has a lesser effect on you, so a small quantity of it should be totally fine. It's sweet and delicious. Really? Well, seeing as how you like it so much, I guess I'll try a small bit. I'll join you. I picked up the chocolate and broke off finger-sized pieces and plopped one after the other into my mouth. Ah, how nostalgic. It tastes like happiness at being able to relish the flavor of chocolate once more, after it had become a distant memory. Alcohol, something like honey in the higher ratio of cacao, gave it a bittersweet taste, but I have to admit it's quite delicious. I used to frequently snack on chocolates during breaks at work in my previous life. I can just get the necessary ingredients when I visit the capital next month. I can also kill two birds with one stone if I have some in between breaks from running errands. What's the matter, Lady Violet, Gray? I was relishing the chocolate when I noticed that both of them were acting weird. It didn't look like they were simply enjoying the sweet, delicious aftertaste. But rather, they looked dazed for some reason. Lord CLO. What? Yes. What's wrong? And Lady Violet turned to me, looking dazed. At the same time, Gray slowly made his way towards me for some reason. I wonder if neither of them took to the taste. If that's the case, then I may have screwed up. I feel hot. Pardon. If anything, it's rather chilly today. Why, I feel hot. Strangely hot. My body's on fire and pleasantly warm, making me want to move it around. What? Oh, calm down, Lady Violet. It's rather cold today and I haven't turned on the heater. Please move your hands away from your clothes. Father, I feel hot too, so Mother's not wrong. Father. Gray, what's wrong with you? Lady Violet insisted that she felt hot and her voice and mannerisms were both very inviting, while Gray sounded and acted flirtatious as he tugged on my shirt. What in hell, what's happening? No way. Don't tell me that a small bite of chocolate actually had an effect. Judging from their reactions, it's rather surprising, but the chocolate really seems to have aphrodisiacal properties. But the question remains, why do I feel perfectly fine? It may not be my first time having chocolate ever, but I have never had it in this world until now, so my body couldn't have developed any resistance to it. I don't think Lady Violet's strange behavior can be attributed to the alcohol in the chocolate either. Then, chocolate really. Lord CLO, come on, strip. Calm down, Lady Violet. I can't do that lest I catch a cold. If you don't feel well, how about we lie down? Yes. I'm fine. I've been told skin-on-skin contact can warm you up. So even if you feel cold without clothes on, if we stick together you'll warm up in a second. I still feel like keeping my clothes on is the best way to keep warm. Then I suppose we just need to embrace clothes and all. I thought you were feeling heated. Father. What is it, Gray? He, I love you, okay, thank you for those terrifyingly flirtatious words. I love you too, but how about we all calm down, yes? This is bad, it really had an effect on them. I still don't fully trust its ability as an aphrodisiac, but it's definitely had some sort of weird effect on them. Gray on my left. Lady Violet on my right. Both of them tightly hold on to me. Normally, receiving an embrace from your wife and son would be a happy circumstance, but considering I'm the one who brought about this situation, I can't feel genuinely happy about it. That said, let me commit this feeling to memory and enjoy it for now. Now what? I guess I'll keep watch over them so they don't do anything weird. I had nary an inkling that chocolate could be so dangerous. Ha! Where is it? The plant called Saturian or something. Oh, there it is. Looks like it got mixed up with the other stuff. But I have to say, Kaki is quite the weirdo to ask for something like this. If I'm not wrong, this is way more effective than what I sold to CLO. Wait, what? I remember I had Saturian in powder form too. And I could have sworn I had more than this. Wonder if it's spilled somewhere. Chapter 69 Turmoil caused by Chartreuse's sense of responsibility _1. Somebody noisy has been in Shiki recently. Shiki is far away enough from the capital that it would take several days to travel by horse-drawn carriage. However, if you use something called a space distortion stone, installed at schools and other special places, you can reach Shiki from the capital in less than a day. Space distortion stone is basically a warping stone. Imagine a human-sized crystal that when touched while reciting one's destination, after which the person would instantly be teleported to that destination. It might be easier to understand if one thinks of it as a device that makes moving simpler in RPGs. It was sometimes used as a means of traveling long distances in Ring of Fire. However, using it requires permission and money. It can also only be placed in places with so-called special spiritual veins. In the capital, there's one near the capital. As for the nearest one to Shiki, it would be in the next town. Currently, there's a certain idiot nobleman who used the space distortion stone to move from the academy to the neighboring town and came to Shiki running at full speed. Baron, how should I take responsibility? Please calm down, Sir Chartreuse. Yes, Chartreuse Calvin, the heir to Viscount Calvin. Chartreuse, who had taken a week off by using the celebration of the school's founding and some of his own connections, came to Shiki and asked me with a serious expression on his face. He was asking me how he could take responsibility for Cyan. Chartreuse, who had a mock battle with Cyan at the end of their investigation, saw something he shouldn't have because of Cyan's unique outfit. He claims that he didn't see anything directly. Nevertheless, he wants to take responsibility as a knight and as a man. However, he can't exactly offer himself to her, and if word spreads, it would embarrass Cyan, so he couldn't possibly make a big deal out of it. He tried to ask Cyan directly, but he was refused. Honestly. Like I care, idiot. I want to tell him off. To start with, at the point when Viscount Sun comes to Shiki and talks to Cyan, people would already start wondering if something had happened. Why hasn't Chartreuse even considered that? I can't tell if he has a strong sense of responsibility, or he's serious and inflexible. Still, can't he try to be a little more observant of his surroundings? Now that I think about it, I recall that Chartreuse's route brought out more of his simple-minded side that also appears in common routes. He would blush immediately when the heroine would touch him, proclaim that he would take responsibility after directly holding her hand. He would jump forward in face of danger without regard for himself and married her after becoming the knight commander because he wanted to be a man worthy of her. I don't know if I should call him straight-laced or troublesome. I swore that I would devote my life to her even if we didn't get married. For that, I am determined to never let another woman catch my eye, and yet, of all things, I almost saw the sisters. I faltered. I have to settle this matter so I can become a man she can be proud of. Yes, this is so annoying and heavy. The way things are going, this guy's on the verge of killing himself if his crush rejects him. It's fine to be devoted, but please don't get me involved. Given his status, I can't afford to ignore him. To be honest, I have something that needs to be sewn quickly, so I would love to leave him to somebody else, but it would be too heavy for Grey. I feel like if I left him to Lady Violet, things would get complicated in other ways. Most of Shiki residents have seen Cyan's buttocks, even if it was indirectly, and most of them don't care. I don't think this is a problem. Some men are grateful for it though. I also didn't know what to do at first, but then I came to the conclusion that it was stupid to worry about it. That's not the problem. It's not fine just because many people have seen it. The problem is that I, almost, saw a woman's intimate parts. If somebody's at fault, it's Cyan. She was the one who fought in that kind of outfit. It's the crime of public indecent exposure for going against the gender norms by maliciously stimulating sexual desire. Although it's questionable if it would actually be considered a crime since it's a doctrinal garment worn by a member of the church. It's also questionable whether there is a law that covers such charges in this kingdom. That's not the problem. Arg. Shut up. Even if it was because of an unexpected accident or her personal taste, the fact that I, almost, saw it won't change. So this matter needs to be settled. Then settle it by yourself. Those words almost leave my mouth, but I force myself to swallow them down just in time. Keep it in, keep it in. I wish Chartreuse's parents, Ms. Knight Commander and Mrs. Archwizard, would have raised their son as a calmer child. Phew, I understand. In short, you just have to take the responsibility, right? As I said that, Chartreuse looked at me with an expectant gaze, wondering if I had a great idea. I'm not very keen on this method, but at this rate, he'll keep staying here, so I decided to make a suggestion. In fact, I'll make him owe me by offering him a solution. Basically, you think that you have embarrassed Cyan. Am I right, Sir Chartreuse? Yeah, that's right. Then you should also experience embarrassment. I firmly grabbed Chartreuse's shoulder and made sure he couldn't escape. Frankly speaking, this is rude, but at this point I just want to resolve this issue as quickly as possible. If this guy stays here, Lady Violet won't be able to calm down either. I am not going to let you escape. Wait a minute, Baron. I don't really get it, but I have a bad feeling about this. Specifically, it's like when Ash fake laughs. Ha ha ha, what are you talking about? Ha ha ha. Wait. That's the exact same way Ash laughs. Wait. I'm telling you to wait. Shit, stop pulling me. Where are you taking me? Also, Baron, you had high physical abilities after all, don't you? I forcibly dragged Chartreuse along. Don't think that you can escape now. I'll make you regret consulting me at this moment. Chapter 70 Turmoil caused by Chartreuse's sense of responsibility _2. Kukuku. At Shiki's church. Cyan was desperately trying to hold back her laughter at the situation in front of her. From the way she couldn't contain her laughter even though Father Snow White was nearby showed that she was really having a hard time holding back. Looking at the way the priest, who would have usually admonished her, was trembling, he was probably also holding back his laughter. Naturally, there's a reason for why they're laughing, and that reason is Chartreuse's presence in the church. If he was simply present here, it wouldn't be a problem and nobody would be laughing, but his outfit was the problem. Phew, I'm done, Sis Senior Sears. What should I do next? Can I leave cleaning the floor to you? I don't mind whether you sweep it or wipe it. Understood. Novitiate, Chartreuse Calvin, I will show you how splendidly I'll develop. MPF. Cyan let out a silent laugh at Chartreuse's needlessly spirited remark. Father somehow regained his composure and took a long breath to calm himself down. Why are they both laughing so hard? The reason for that is the fact that shit, it's hard to move in a long skirt, even if it has a slit. Are she and other girls always moving dressed like this? Still, with this, I think I can understand why you would want a slit. Chartreuse is dressed in a nun's habit. If they were meeting for the first time in this situation, they would be weirded out and things would get uncomfortable, but since Chartreuse talked quite a lot with Cyan and Father during the investigation and they also know about his personality, it seems to be working in a way. As for why Chartreuse is dressed this way, it went like this. In other words, you also have to bear the risk of experiencing the same kind of embarrassment, Sir Chartreuse. The same kind. Yes. In short, you have to spend the day with the embarrassment of knowing that your important parts may be seen. For that, you have to dress in the same way as Cyan, in the same church attire. Wait, is that really enough? Even if I dress like the clergy, I would be different from a nun. Even if I don't wear underwear, the degree of embarrassment while wearing a robe is. Who said anything about dressing like the clergy? I said dress the same way as Cyan. Wait, you mean I'll be wearing that outfit? You're telling me to not only cross-dress but to also show my skin. Are you messing with me? I'm not messing with you. You see, Cyan refused you because you lack determination. In other words, if you don't show a strong willpower to take the same risk, all this talk about taking responsibility is just empty words. First of all, you must demonstrate your determination with your clothes. I see. I understand now. Yeah, now that I think back on it again, I'm surprised Chartreuse agreed to wear those clothes. When Chartreuse actually offered to help while putting on the habit, Cyan looked at him with an indescribable expression and asked him if he was in his right mind, but when he actually came back wearing the nun uniform, she must have felt his determination even while holding back her laughter. She took Chartreuse's resolve into account by letting him help out, so I would say that he succeeded in his endeavor. Senior Sears, where should I get water from? Usually I'm the one who prepares water with magic. There are tools made with water magic stones around the corner over there for when I'm not here, so you can use those. Understood. I wouldn't want to bother you, so I'll go get some water. Okay. Be careful, leave it to me. And Chartreuse ran at full speed, as if he had already broken off from his past self. At first, he seemed to have a lot of conflict at wearing women's outfit without the underwear, which could be described as a high-level perversion even among the abnormals, but now that he's able to take responsibility, he's all livelino, he's just trying to look excited because if he did it half-heartedly, it would be even more embarrassing. I think that's probably it. Rather, is it just my imagination that acting like this will create a more embarrassing history for him than taking responsibility? Yeah, it's not just my imagination. Phew, well then, I'll get started. Father and Senior Sears, it's dangerous so please stay away. Why would the words, it's dangerous so please stay away, come up when he's just cleaning the floor? Although depending on the situation, it might make sense. And why is he holding something that looks like a mop like a sword? Batijutsu. Flash. This guy really used the technique he created to protect the heroine just to clean the floor. No, to be more exact, it seems to be a technique that he created unrelated to Ms. Kriemhild, so it's fine, I guess. Either way, it's not a technique used for cleaning anyway. Phew, there are no obstacles on my path to priesthood. Wow, that's amazing. I've been a priest for so long, but I never knew there was a way to clean things so quickly. I'd reckon so, Father. Cleaning reflects the state of your heart. I'm good at cleaning too. But it's dangerous, so don't do it again. Okay. Yes, I'm sorry. Was this guy always this stupid? No, he probably got too excited in the wrong way. Cyan must have felt Chartreuse's resolve too, so I'll advise him that it's about time to go back to his own clothes. Regarding the matter of facing the same risk, if Cyan and I tell him that he was able to do it efficiently, he should stop. I made him do it because he was noisy, but this situation isn't very good. Oh, here you are, Lord CLO. The others told me that you were here. Faster than I could talk to him, Lady Violet entered the church. Perhaps she had something to discuss with me, because she looked around the church to look for me, and mid-sentence after finding me, her eyes met with Chartreuse's and she stopped moving. You know, Calvin. What? Chartreuse also stopped moving when he saw Lady Violet. After a strange silence passed, Lady Violet spoke up first. Without getting flustered. Without disrespecting him. Looking at her former classmate, she smiled calmly and shared her thoughts. It suits you. I see. I was actually starting to think the same too. Cyan and father burst out laughing at that line. Author's note. Chartreuse Calvin. Dark green, chartreuse colored, hair and green eyes. Height, in the later half of 170 centimeters. Has decent muscles, by Otome game standards. Capture target. Viscount family. Son of the Knight Commander and Archwizard. The clothes he wore this time were old spares from Cyan, who's around 160 centimeters. Dangerous in many ways. Chapter 71 How the Children Spend Time _1. Even before, the more time we spent in each other's company, the closer we grew, but after the kidnapping incident she's been more loving. To be honest, knowing that she rushed to my rescue back then made me really happy. I felt bad when I learnt that she bowed her head for my sake but also touched. I thank my lucky stars that an ex-slave like me has two loving parents. Listen, Gray. Beware of strangers. Even if it's someone you know, if they look at you the way Mr. Bly does, then steer clear of them. The days are getting shorter, so be careful while walking the streets after dark. Also, I do indeed count my blessings, but her worrying about me like this every time I leave home can get a little tiring. The fact that she's concerned means that she really cares for me, and that makes me happy, but I'm not a kid anymore. There's not much I can't do that Lady Violet or Lord CLO can, and I'm somewhat capable of showing discretion. My parents and friends tend to ask me to be more cautious because I'm apparently very gullible, but I don't think I am. I believe I'm capable of weighing my options and making the right choice. And so, my dear disciple, today we experiment with a new spell. What will you be teaching me today, Master? First, we are going to try out a spell called Great Audiobook Ritual Dance that I learned from a certain someone. Ooh, what kind of spell is it? Let's see. The certain someone told me that it's a spell that transforms the curse you cast into power that can further be used to boost the effect of your magic. Lady Apricot, you never cease to amaze me. Hee, it's not as difficult as you might think. Today I'm going to be getting some hands-on experience practicing magic with my master, Lady Apricot. I wonder what kind of amazing spell we're going to be trying. I'm not too familiar with curses, but if Lady Apricot speaks so highly of it, then it's sure to be exceptional. We were accompanied by Mr. Brown, and for some reason, Lady Emerald was also present. Normally she's a strange one who's off happily ingesting poisons. I'm certain she's never shown any interest towards magic. Also, Mr. Brown was nodding off on his feet. This is quite a surprise. I would have never expected you to show up to a magic lesson. If I hadn't run off, my dad would have dragged me to that perverted doctor. I'd pick Apricot over that pervert any day. She sighed and scratched her head with a bandaged right hand. I remember Mr. Green, Lady Emerald's father, had the wound on her arm treated. No matter how much she's advised against it, she frequently lets poisonous snakes bite her or applies medicine laced with poison on her arm, such that the wounds on her arm easily fester. The other day, I happened to witness Mr. Green grumble about his precious daughter causing his hairline to recede. Speaking of, where's your father? Lord CLO is busy sewing clothes. Ah, I see. What about your mother? Lady Violet is off merrily flying the skies. So she's patrolling with Robot. Lord CLO is in the process of making Lady Violet a dress at the moment. I enjoy watching him work, he doesn't particularly mind if I do, but I thought he might as well focus so the dress ends up beautiful. Hence I decided to leave him to his work. And Lady Violet mentioned, there's a little something I want her advice on, and left to find Robot, but I don't know why that resulted in her flying the skies. My dear disciple. Emerald. And last but not the least, Brown. We need to venture to the forest to kick off the experiment. Follow me, guys. Yes, Lady Apricot. Yeah. I got it. Brown, wake up. Looks like we gotta go. Aw. Ha. What are you doing here, Emerald? I thought you were headed to the cave to collect poison. That was 2 days ago. Rousing him from his slumber, we trailed after Lady Apricot into the forest. Apparently, the experiment is going to be conducted in the forest. Looks like an open space is better to test things, lest we inconvenience the neighbors in town. Ah, my dear disciple. Watch out for bugs and keep an eye on your physical condition at all times. No matter how small, if there's an issue, then make sure to report to me. Also just let me know, if you need any fluids, I've made the necessary arrangements. You really are thoughtful in the weirdest of places. Of course, I am. I'm obligated to do that much as an adult when I'm borrowing someone's precious body. Saying so, Lady Apricot once again cast the bug-repellent magic on us. It should keep us safe from small bugs and snakes. As ever, she insists on being considerate of the tiniest details. Come to think of it, I wonder why Lady Violet also looks at this side of Lady Apricot in surprise, just like Lady Emerald. Great God, Ibuki, Ritual Dance. It's a spell that allows the user to temporarily borrow the divine power of a great earth deity called Ibuki using alcohol as a medium. This provides the user with the power to enhance the strength of their magic. Originally the spell seems to be used to enhance physical strength, but we are going to be conducting an experiment to check if it can be swapped with magic strength. So in order to recreate the power of a curse, I borrowed an item from Lord Orchid that can temporarily put an object in a cursed state. What the hell kind of item did that guy make? Lady Apricot pulled out a poisonous-looking cauldron from her cape. It bubbled and sputtered, as if merely touching it could really curse you. Is that poisonous, Apricot? Curses are something that can eat away at your body, right? Throw that on me, Apricot. Dump it on me from the head down with a splash. Don't leave a drop behind. In your dreams. In reply to Mr. Brown's question, Lady Emerald asks to be dunked with the fluid, and upon Lady Apricot's refusal, she tries to grab the cauldron. I try to stop her and Mr. Brown joins in my effort, and together we hoist her by her arms and somehow manage to stop her. Mr. Brown happens to be younger than me but much taller, which I really envy. Curses aren't poison in the first place. Anyway, we need to set up the experiment. My dear disciple, would you help me with it? Roger that. I began to set things up for the experiment as per Lady Apricot's request. A small distance away from us, Lady Apricot created a rock a bit bigger than me and poured the fluid over it that would put it in a cursed state. During the process, I heard Lady Apricot mutter something that sounded like, "Ugh, I should have him make that next time," which was a bit concerning, but anyway, everything should be set up and ready now. Next we sprinkle the sake around it. Done. Phew. Well then, let us begin, my dear disciple. It's a bit dangerous for someone powerful like me to use dark or fire magic for this, so let's try water magic. I suppose water is comparatively safer. Lady Apricot had finished setting everything up and was about to start the experiment. Mr. Brown had set Lady Emerald down and she was spectating the experimental process. By the way, Gray. Yes. Lady Apricot had started to chant the spell and was building up her magic power. Lady Emerald and I looked on and she began to make small talk with me. If I'm not mistaken, back when the Academy students came by for the investigation, you spoke with Nephrite on the last day, didn't you? Nephrite. Oh, yes, I did. I think Nephrite's last name was Creamhild. It's true that Lady Creamhild and I had a chat, albeit short, on the last day. She had voiced her concerns for me in regards to my kidnapping and her demeanor was very gentle and bright, so I remember her very well. She was an old school friend of Lady Violet's and I recollect them happily chatting away. I think Lady Emerald also spoke with Lady Creamhild. Did you ever feel like there was something off about her? Something off. I can't find the right words, but how do I put it? She scratched her head with the non-bandaged left hand and after struggling to find the appropriate words, she uttered something strange. Like she doesn't have something that she should and she's simply spinning her wheels because she's missing that little something. Lady Emerald stumbled as if she herself was unsure of what she was talking about, and just then. Oh, shit. Our conversation was cut off by Lady Apricot muttering as such under her breath. Both of us had a bad feeling after hearing that and switched stances to one that would allow us to quickly run to help if necessary. Take cover. We did as told when Lady Apricot lost control of her magic and the target of her spell exploded for some reason. It wasn't a huge explosion, but that's besides the point. The spell that got out of hand was the one Lady Violet was chanting, so it was water magic. Rather than water splashing everywhere, being refined by magic, it shot up from the ground and scattered. Meaning, everything in the vicinity was completely soaked. I feel a bit cold. Okay, Apricot. What do you have to say to us? I'm truly sorry. Lady Apricot promptly apologized. Chapter 72 How the Children Spend Time _2. Pfui, I'm warming up. Don't fall asleep, Brown. If you sleep in the bath, you'll die. I'm not sleeping, Big Sister Emerald. Go. Hey now. A little outside of Shiki. The four of us were soaking in the hot spring together. Our purpose was to dry our clothes that had gotten wet from the experiment earlier and to warm up our bodies. If this had happened a little earlier in the season, we might have gone to the river, but since it's a bit chilly, we all decided that a hot spring would be better and went together. Thanks to Lord Cielo's efforts, the road to the hot spring is being maintained to some extent. It can't be called a facility, when there has been only the bare minimum done so the hot spring itself does not leak to the outside. Still, it's somewhat better than before. Eventually, it will be divided by sex and opened for the Shiki citizens. It seems that the fee will be just a formality, as the profit is of no importance. Still, I wonder what the cause of today's failure was, Lady Apricot. I came out of the hot spring, approached Lady Apricot, who was beckoning me, and asked. Lady Apricot lathered up the soap she had prepared who knows when. She urged me to sit down and started explaining what happened earlier while washing my back. Phew, listen well, my disciple. We did not fail. We succeeded in proving that this method can't work. Hence, you shouldn't feel ashamed. 2C. I resent my own lack of education for not realizing this faster. Phew, it's nothing to worry about. But don't forget that we have to reflect on the damage we caused. I replied cheerfully to those words. Lady Apricot poured hot water on my head with her usual confident expression, pulled out perfume oil from somewhere, put it on my head and started lathering it. You're not going to retort to those words, Big Sister Emerald. She's right, and I can't get stronger if I keep getting knocked out by the poison of assuming I'd fail. I see. Which part of those words needed retorting? I don't really get it, but Lady Emerald does sometimes retort to Lady Apricot's words. Here, disciple. I'm going to pour hot water on you, so close your eyes. Yes. I closed my eyes as I was told, and the hot water was poured on me. Now that the wet and sticky sensation I was feeling had mostly disappeared, it was my turn to wash Lady Apricot. Seeing this, Lady Emerald also got out of the hot spring. Looks like she's going to wash Brown. By the way, Apricot, I heard that you'll be entering the academy next year. It's just a possibility. I'd honestly be able to study more freely on my own. Here. Is there a guy you're interested in? Cough. Lady Apricot choked at Lady Emerald's words and started coughing with all her body. I was just washing her back, so I rubbed it to calm her down. Then, after composing her breath, Lady Apricot turned just her head towards the two, so I resumed washing her. Why would you think that? There is no way I would be howling at something like that. You know, what about the shuttle? Watch his face. You fought the other day. He's a year older and his face isn't bad either. It was a duel. That person can only be my rival. He is not the artist who I can have a relationship with. Besides, he seemed to have somebody he likes. Is that so? After I finished lathering, I handed the soap to Lady Emerald, grabbed a nearby bucket, drew hot water from the hot spring and washed away the bubbles. Come to think of it, I don't often hear stories of Lady Apricot dating other boys or being interested in the opposite sex. Perhaps, a part of it is because she doesn't have many peers here, but maybe she's not really interested in it. Apparently it's a beautiful girl with blonde hair and red eyes who can use alchemy magic. She's a wonderful person who's kind to everybody regardless of their race and status. You sure know a lot. Hey, Brown. Stop moving. Yeah, Riser told me about her passionately. Apparently she's excellent at everything, including academics, magic, cooking and art. What kind of overly blessed woman is that? From the looks of it, when Lady Apricot asked Lord Chartreuse if there were other strong students beside him, he spoke very passionately about it. He had spoken so passionately that Lady Apricot seemed to have thought that he was annoying. But to think that such a person existed. Or should I say, such magic instead. I've heard that alchemy magic is a rare magic. And I also feel like I heard that Lady Violet's dual opponent was a girl who also used alchemy magic. Judging by the way Lady Violet was talking with Lady Creamhild, the latter probably wasn't her opponent. In other words, that girl was the person who caused Lady Violet to. That reminds me, I overheard a little earlier, my disciple. Yes, what happened? While I was lathering up perfume oil on Lady Apricot's head, I was asked a question, so I changed the direction of my thoughts. I'm curious, but it's something that hasn't been confirmed yet. So, for now, I'll just focus on washing her comfortably and answering the question. Yeah, when I untied it, I saw that her black hair was as beautiful and long as ever. When the hair is this long, washing it is really rewarding. I heard the name Nephrite earlier. Did anything happen? Oh, I was the one who asked about her. Come to think of it, Nephrite also uses alchemy magic. While washing Brown's body and remembering the previous conversation, Lady Emerald continued. Since it didn't concern me, I concentrated on washing Lady Apricot's hair carefully. I must make it as beautiful as possible. It's nothing. I just felt something strange about Nephrite. Strange? Did you feel her hidden demonic powers? No. It's nothing to worry about. Fufufu. Not yet. I still have to lather it up more and wash carefully. Then it's fine. You didn't feel something strange about the way she was laughing, right? The way she was laughing. Yeah, I don't know to describe her laughter, but... Fufufu, wonderful. As expected from the perfume oil prepared by Lady Apricot. From the way bubbles are formed, when you comb down from where the bubbles are, your fingers will run smoothly through the hair. Hey, my disciple. Is it not time to wash away the bubbles already? Yes, I'll do that. And I'll apply the perfume oil again after. Why? It's to make your hair beautiful. Please don't worry. However inexperienced I might be, I will do my best to make Lady Apricot's hair look great. Phew, I see. In that case, I entrust you with my spinel-like hair, my disciple. However, if it stays up for a long time I feel colder, so please be mindful of the time. After I got the approval, I went back to making her hair pretty. I have to finish everything while also considering the time needed to soak into the hot spring again later. It might take a while if I also consider the time needed for clothes to dry, so it might be better to wash her hair again later. Fufufu, I can't wait to put my skills to good use. Big Brother Gray gets weird sometimes. Not that we have any right to point that out though. Sometimes Gray's dedication goes out of control like that. But he has a good compatibility with Big Sister Apricot. Agreed. Come on, I'm pouring. Thank you. I feel like she has a smile on her face. Did you say something, Brown? Nope, nothing. Go. Hey, don't fall asleep. Author's note. Gray, 11. Has unconsciously become ignorant about the matters of biological sex. Apricot, 14. Since she's with her friends, she doesn't mind being seen. Emerald, 13. Doesn't care as long as other people don't blatantly express dislike towards her scars. Brown, 7. Looks like an adult, 175 centimeters, but on the inside, he's at the age where he's not aware of age-appropriate gender differences. Chapter 73 How the Children Spend Time _3. Phew, thank you, my disciple. My spinel-like hair has become even shinier. This should further increase my mana. I am undeserving of such praise, Lady Apricot. Lady Apricot struck a pose while walking, making her hair, which was more beautiful than usual, flutter. I'm glad that my care yielded good results. Her hair was already beautiful, but now it looks even more brilliant. Next time, I would like to do the same to Lady Violet's hair too. I would like to make her beautiful violet hair even more beautiful. But Lady Violet has always taken a perfect care of herself. On the other hand, if I relax, Lord CLO's doesn't dry his hair fully, so if I'm not looking, his hair will start to bounce outward. It's also rewarding to take care of him in a way. Big Sister Apricot, how are hair and mana connected? What, you don't know? Hair is the perfect medium for conserving mana. The higher quality it is, the more mana will increase. I see. By the way, where are we going? I think we're back. Oh, I just have to take care of the aftermath from the magic I used earlier. Everybody crouch and be quiet. Hearing Lady Apricot's words, we stopped talking and we each hid behind a nearby bush. Then, when I quietly put my head out and turned my gaze towards where we were heading, I saw. Those are beast-type monsters. There were quadruped beast-type monsters with a body covered in white fur. They were kind of small, but they had sharp fangs. It's the type of a monster that can be seen around Shiki. While they're omnivorous and stronger than the dire wolf that kidnapped Light Blue before, they're usually docile, and although they don't come down to settlements like Shiki, sometimes they wander in and cause damage to livestock and fields. That's how it's supposed to be, but there's something strange about them. What we were seeing in front of us right now were several beasts that were biting into something single-mindedly. They were clearly more ferocious. Since we knew what they usually looked like, we couldn't help feeling that something was strange. Indeed. They seemed to be the monsters with the vestiges of the man who disrespectfully kidnapped my disciple before. Everybody became more alert after hearing those words. Vestiges from the man who kidnapped me. In other words, they're monsters that still have the vestiges of Roshena River's word magic. People from Shiki and the Academy should have wiped out all of them before, but there must have been some survivors. They do indeed emit an aura specific to monsters who are under the influence of word magic. I can see the residue of dark magic around their eyes. It looks like those monsters have been hypnotized to attack in response to a certain amount of mana. They reacted to the power of the curse, from earlier, and they're most likely biting into the thing we were using as a target earlier. They look like they're on a rampage though. Looks like it. Even I don't know much about this magic. Perhaps they are suffering some kind of side effect. Having said that, Lady grasped her cane with both hands and took a fighting stance. Seeing this, we also readied our weapons. Lady Emerald took out several small knives and a jar containing plants. Brown put his hand on the handle of the long sword he was carrying. Unfortunately, I don't have any unique weapons yet, so I just need to enhance my mana so I won't be detected. We have no way to break this magic, and if we leave them here, there may be some casualties. I feel sorry for them, but let us subdue them before they cause any damage. Yeah, got it. We all nodded at Lady Apricot's words and prepared ourselves to move out at any time. Are you all ready? Let's go. Taking those words as a signal to engage, we each moved on our own. Phew, I feel refreshed. At Shiki Square. We all toasted while drinking Lady Apricot's homemade juice mix to replenish the water and sugar we had lost in the earlier battle and the hot springs. The battle had ended without a hitch and we were able to finish the subjugation without any casualties. I'll report it to Lord CLO or Father Snow White later, but for now we were all rewarding ourselves for the successful subjugation without the adults. Oh yeah, it sure feels nice to cooperate with my disciple in a battle for the first time in a while. You couldn't even keep up with me before, but you've grown so much. Thank you very much for your excessive evaluation. However, I still have much growing to do compared to you, Lady Apricot. I will work harder to someday become strong and be on par with you, Lady Apricot. No, with Master. I look forward to that day. Knowing you, I'm sure that day is not far away. Yes. Ah, what praise I have received. One day I would love to defeat and rank monster Lady Apricot talks about together with her. Originally, a rank is the highest rank according to established regulations, but apparently there are even stronger monsters, in other words, rank monsters, hidden by the committee made up of several people, and Lady Apricot has subdued them in the past. It's said to be every master's wish to eventually defeat those monsters. I would like to help her with that someday. When I told Lord CLO about that, he gave me a strange look and replied with, yeah. Good luck. Good grief, you guys are too excited. But you look happy too, Big Sister Emerald. What happened? Well, I was able to get a valuable sample from this battle. Of course I would be happy. Lady Emerald drank her drink with a more cheerful expression than usual. The valuable sample she's talking about. I wonder if it's connected to the knives and poison she used in the earlier battle. For somebody who wants to create a resuscitation medicine and save people one day, you sure don't hesitate to use a deadly poison on monsters, Emerald. What are you talking about? Finding out how this poison affects beast-type monsters is a valuable sample. As long as my opponent is a monster that causes damage to others, I can use it with no hesitation. Just don't end up on a wanted list by using monsters for experiments at some point, okay? I won't do that as long as my dad and that doctor are alive. Saying so, Lady Emerald drank the rest in one go. In other words, there's a chance that she'll do it eventually, but I'm sure she's just joking. She once said that she was still too young to pursue her dreams. Since we don't know what could happen in life, it's fine to just consider the possibility. Well, in the end it was burned away by Apricot and Gray's magic together and mowed down by Brown's incomprehensible beam, so I could hardly confirm the progress of After Effects though. That's certainly true. And Brown reduced the output of the beam a little. It almost hit me and it looks like the beam Ms. Robot lets out sometimes. I can't. I don't understand the principle behind how I do it, so I can't suppress it or do anything like that. The beam that Brown released refers to the shock released from his longsword. Generally, it deals damage equal to a high-level magic if it hits the target. The person in question keeps shooting it repeatedly while not understanding what it is. It makes him both strong but dangerous. Subjugating monsters is fine, but if you sense danger, you should report to us immediately. Oh, Lady Violet. Then, Lady Violet, who had come back from her exciting adventure with Lady Robot, spoke to us. It seems like she had heard what we were talking about. I lowered my head and as everybody else gave their greetings, Lady Violet approached me. Gray, do you have any injuries? Are you hurt? If you feel lethargic or strange in other ways, report to me right away. You must not push yourself. I'm fine. Thanks to everyone's hard work, I'm neither injured nor exhausted. I see, I'm glad. After Lady Violet was relieved by my report, she looked me up and down and confirmed again that there were no problems. As usual, Lady Violet is excessively kind towards me lately. And it's not bad, but it's a bit embarrassing. I have to try a little more to not make her worry. Do I just have to become stronger to do that? Do I have to protect Lady Violet from? Or is it better if I become like Lady Apricot? Alright, let's start with my appearance first. It would be nice if she could lend me her cloak and a hat. When I see something like that, I can't bear to make my old man worry either. Maybe I should give him a shoulder rub from time to time. But you're not stopping experimenting with poison, are you? Are you telling me to die? You have it that bad, huh? Brown and I don't have parents, so we don't really understand that kind of thing. Right, however. What's wrong? No, I was just thinking that maybe adults aren't much different either. Author's note. Gray, 11. Has high aptitude for all attribute magic and can use any type of magic. Apricot, 14. A person with enough amount of mana and knowledge to be Gray's teacher. Emerald, 13. Familiar with all kinds of poisonous substances. Can be brought down with a little wound. Brown, 7. A natural-born fighter who wields a long sword and has the body of an adult. For some reason he can also unleash a beam from his long sword. People with strong fighting abilities in Shiki. According to CLO, those kids can't be put into an Otome game. They somehow live in a different world. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.